I'm not used to the whole like intro thing. I'm usually used to open up the show saying, "You're watching Unpopular Review, the NXT review show." NXT just went off the air. They were at the 2300? I gotta get my numbers right. 2300 Arena and thank you, Philly Arena and Philly. And we're here to talk about it. I thought it was a fun show. We should drop this graphic so you can see who is hosting tonight. You got me, the great Grand Slam Pooba, and I'm joined with the supremely talented Sabrina, Estella, the undisputed duo, the undisputed two, whatever word you want to do. We're throwing it up. We're doing the undisputed era sign. Sabrina, Estella, it just NXT went off the show. Went off the air. I'm sorry, it's the riser. I just had a coffee so I could stay up. But it just went off the air. It was a fun show. What did you think about it?
Well, I very much enjoyed it. I mean, it was a fun time. A lot of nostalgia in there, especially for a lot of the people that were into Join for the night. And I definitely say I can enjoy it, especially since it started with a women's match and it ended with the women's match.
I thought the placement of these matches were great, actually.
Yes.
You know, I do agree.
Middle or anything, no.
I do agree. I thought the way that they opened and closed, I mean, just perfect. I'm sorry, I'm sharing as we go along so people could catch us on Twitter. But I did like a few things. I did like how it opened. I love that we had that old ECW. I'm a big fan of the old ECW theme. Matter of fact, I was listening to that before watching NXT. So seeing the theme and hearing it, I like the mix of you had the old ECW clips and then you sprinkled in a little bit of that NXT. I thought that was fantastic. So good on them for that. I was glad that they did it. And also, too, you got a chance to see what South Philly looked like. I went to Philly for the first time this year for WrestleMania weekend. Good times, great times. Hope to go to Philly again. But South Philly looked pretty damn rough. I'm not going to hold you. When I was looking at
almost every state, the South looks the worst out of all of them. And I don't know why.
It's hard to tell why.
Since the South is the most expensive site to live, maybe that's why.
I was when they was showing like parts of Philly, I said these look like the alleyways that Batman's parents got killed. And I know it's a terrible thing to say out loud, but yeah, these areas look damn rough. I don't know if you still see it in the comments because my comment thing's acting up. I know George was in here earlier. I don't know if you still see him. I don't, for whatever reason. My comment. Huh?
We also have
we got Todd. We got Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine. I got to see her over the weekend. We were watching Crown Jewel, so it was great to see her. And we got Todd. What's going on, Todd? Great show tonight. I totally agree. It was a fun show. And also, too, just before we
keep going, I'm just going to say, we did discuss about having an NXT AEW combined show. However, one of the co-hosts is on another show right now for Unpopular View on the entertainment side, so she's working on that. So we're going to put out our side of it, and as opposed to keeping it waiting for too long.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think that if, we'll both be going on simultaneously. So, you got the NXT review, you got your AEW review. So please check out our content here. We were going to, like my co-host said, my partner here said, we would have done it. And it would have been a super show. And maybe one day we will get that going. That would be great. But you're getting the undisputed duo. What I wanted to say here about this show. Oh, I wanted to say that one of the things I liked, I was talking about that intro. One of the things I did like about this show, because we did get the ECW originals. We got a lot of the guys and gals who were part of that original roster. And they didn't take away from the show. You had them and you sprinkled them in. It was good nostalgia. It wasn't like forced nostalgia, overuse of nostalgia. I thought that they did that very well and still put the spotlight on the NXT crew. And like my co-host said, it opened up with a women's match. We opened up with the hardcore match with special referee Dawn Marie. I got to say, I haven't seen Dawn Marie in I don't know how many years. And I just want to put a picture up here. But real quick, before we go in, look at this card for tonight. Look at this card. I thought this was a fantastic card here. We have that 10-women tag team match. I thought it was star-studded. We had Bubba Ray and Trick Williams going against Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. We're going to talk about the hardcore match of, I don't know why I almost said Jada Kiss. I'm talking so fast, but Jada Parker and Lola Vice. We have Wes Lee going against Javon Evans. Special appearance by Francine. Ava makes an announcement we'll talk about, and Tony D'Angelo was in the house. But I want to talk about Dawn Marie. I haven't seen her in a while, but I got to say, I don't know what her age is, but she still looked damn good. I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought she looked fantastic. We see you guys in the chat here. So we'll
Dawn Marie's 54. She's 54.
Whoa! Where? Because I gotta say, Dawn Marie still looked fantastic. If I could point out a memory with Dawn Marie, and if any of you guys who've been watching wrestling as long as I have, you know the storyline. So there's a storyline. Let me tell you about this one. Sabrina Estella. There was a storyline where Dawn Marie married Tori Wilson's father. I want to say about that storyline. 2003. She married him, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people my age were saying, "Lucky bastard." So this guy marries her. And the storyline is just so wild. I don't know who came up with this, but they're having sex. And, like most males, like, yeah, let's go for it. Boom. But Al Wilson must have been like, I don't know, 82. And his poor heart couldn't take it. And there's a spot where you think, oh, look, Al Wilson is just worn out. He's tired. No, he died from having too much sex. And then the following week, there was a funeral, and they aired it. I thought this was kind of wild. It was a wild times in the Ruthless Aggression era, but that's the one story I remember about Dawn Marie. I'm pretty sure if anyone remembers her stuff in ECW, I wasn't an ECW kid growing up, so I don't remember. But I do remember the Ruthless Aggression era, and that was wild. So it was great to see her. But let's get into the chat real quick before we go any further. We got Good Chris in the chat. Roxanne Perez getting pinned again. That means she's not losing her NXT Women's Championship anytime soon. So you think. The ECW arena was sold out. And honestly, George, I was very upset I couldn't make that show. I would have loved to because it looked like it was a party out there. It was sold out. And it was sold out quick, too. What's up, George? George. Jack, I'm Jack. George is in the chat. Jeffrey says, what up to the both of us? What's going on, Jeffrey? It's great to see you, sir. We got George who says, Chris, I have to disagree with you, homeboy. George, since when do you use homeboy? I'm curious.
I couldn't say it. It would sound weird coming from me.
No, drop a homeboy. Come on, let me hear it.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can. Come on. You gotta drop it like this. Let me teach you how you do it, Sabrina. Because sometimes you can like, hey, listen, homeboy. Let me tell you something, man. You gotta put a little sauce in it. One of my favorite sauces, like there's a hot sauce and there's a green sauce. What is that green sauce? Gotta put that on my tacos. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Salsa verde. Yes,
you gotta put a little bit of that when you say homeboy. Dawn Marie still looks great. I 100% agree, Jeffrey. Roxanne Perez is definitely going to lose the NXT Championship. She is, but to who? No way. She's 64. No, she said 54.
54.
Francine also looks good as well. Yeah, she looks good. Jeffrey remembers her and Tori and her dad. Absolutely. No, Roxanne Perez is going to keep her NXT Women's Championship until next year at NXT Stand and Deliver. Who told you that? What's your scoop? Jeffrey says SmackDown.
Like Dave Meltzer dirt sheets.
Dave Meltzer told you that? I heard a funny story about Dave Meltzer this week, but I'll leave him alone. SmackDown was great back then. LOL. SmackDown was wild. Vince McMahon probably came up with it. Vince
McMahon came up with a good number of the ideas backstage.
He might have said, all right, Al, check this out, pal. You're gonna go out there and you just gotta lay it on her. Good luck, pal. He probably did all that. Yeah, damn it. Wow, only 2 years older than me. Wait, what? Wait, but I missed something. You and Dawn Marie are the same. Okay. Chris, I don't think so. It's time for her to lose the NXT Women's Championship. Okay, so we got through the chat. I think we got some more. Here we go. Chris says, Joe Louis, you are wrong again. Okay, we have an argument here. I love this. Chris, okay, Stephanie Vaquer pinned Roxanne Perez and Zaria pinned Roxanne Perez. So that means she's going to drop the NXT Women's Championship. These guys are going back and forth. I'm going to let you guys go back and forth. But let's talk about this match. I thought this was a great way to open. I thought these girls really laid in their shit. I mean, there was a lot of spots. So I always throw us out here. We don't go move for move, but I like to throw out some spots. There was I mean, okay, boom. Let me get my thoughts together, right? Sorry, guys, I'm overhyped here. This coffee is really kicking.
I'll point out my favorite spot while you get yourself together. My favorite spot was Lola's take on the Three Amigos on Jada, and as opposed to doing a final one, she did her own little take on it and then just bashed her head into the chair.
Good DDT, yep. That was a good spot. There was a lot of spots. There was a spot. I mean, they really went in on this match. There was a lot of fighting outside. There was like, and also too, when they were coming up, when they were using the chairs and the candlesticks, they were really laying it in. Like how you mentioned about that chair spot, and you see Lola, and she does it's the Three Amigos, but one on a chair, one on another chair, then a DDT. She even did that little Eddie Simmy.
The chair, the second one on the back of the chair, and then the other one on the front of the chair on Jada's face.
There was a spot too, so they went through one commercial break, so that's when they brought in the ladders. But there was a spot later in the match where Jada, she does the teardrop from the ladder to the outside, which was crazy. I mean, once again, these women really put their bodies on the line. This was not no soft match. These women were really laying in.
Well, it is a hardcore match, and I was watching on Twitch, on a Twitch channel that was able to do a watch along with the product on there, so I could watch it no problem. And one of the guys that was doing it was saying, "Wow, these girls must either really like each other, or they can't stand the hell out of each other with how good they're giving it to us as far as their crap." Because if you close with someone and can trust somebody that much, Sasha Bailey, for example, you can go at it and hit each other as much as you want and know that you're going to be okay. Or they probably just can't stand each other. We don't know nothing.
You know, I think the atmosphere really made them go out like how they did. There's no way you could go to the ECW arena, have a hardcore match, and not deliver. And I thought these girls did well. Now, I thought one spot was a little ridiculous, and I think you guys... Yeah, because she got hit with a freaking brick. Like, how do you kick out from that? If I get hit with a brick, bro...
face with the brick and not at least put a little bit of flake blood to make it look a little bit realistic, like you get hit in the face with a brick, you're gonna wind up bleeding, first of all. And second, how are you gonna get up from after getting hit in the face with the brick?
Yeah, I thought that was a little ridiculous. I thought
somehow snagged the suit from Black Panther that whenever you hit it twice, hits whatever you hit gets thrown back to you tenfold. How the hell did she kick out after getting hit in the face with a damn brick?
I think when you have the heart and soul of Philly, it just don't affect you. Because I did think that was ridiculous. I thought that should have been the match. But she does finish it off with the hypnotic, but she put some stink into it because she ran back and forth on the thing. First off, great cardio. Hit her with it, pin her 1, 2, 3. I do want to ask you, do you think this is the end of their rivalry?
I think for now, they'll probably focus on other people, but they'll probably revisit it some way, somehow.
This was your victor right here, Jada Parker, with Dawn Marie, who didn't do much in this. She played the role. She played the role of ref.
Well, Jada also did threaten her, so I think she wanted to keep her face nice and safe from Jada Parker, because if Jada was going to beat the crap out of Lola, I think Dawn Marie wanted to make sure that her face wouldn't get broken. I'm
going to be honest with you, and I hear you, Jeffrey.
She's a nurse, but still.
All I'm saying is this. You know what I think? I think right after she saw... Because I don't know where the brick came from. It was almost on some Looney Tunes shit on where that brick came from. I think when Dawn Marie saw her hit her with a brick, she said, "There's no stopping this woman. I'm not messing with her." I saw someone on Twitter. I thought it was hilarious. They said, that is the most New York thing ever. Now, I don't know where Jada is from. I don't know if she's from New York. But all I know is in New York, I've lived in New York for 36 years. I've never seen someone get hit with a brick. And that's because I don't go to Staten Island. And that is my Staten Island joke. And I am proud of it. and I will stand on that.
Not
So
from New York. She's from Port St. Lucie here in Florida.
oh, she's from Florida. Oh, maybe it's a Florida thing.
That's the zip code.
I think it's a Florida thing then. That's what it is. You Floridians hit people with bricks. And that's why I only stay for 3 days. I don't know about that, Sabrina Stella. I think you're a sweetheart. Honestly, I think you're sitting on that couch and underneath that couch is a brick.
No, underneath the couch is a very giant big pillow.
Oh, then I stand corrected. My bad. I'm wrong. Lola Vice and Jada Parker are going to run it back. I can see that, George. But to get to Jeffrey, the show, she didn't get an interest, but I think she got it on Instagram Live because I saw some people post it. So there's that. Ridge and Ethan get a promo. They're talking down to the baby faces. Not much to really talk there about, but yeah, they're talking about that. Now, I thought this was cool. We have a segment here with Kelani Jordan and one RVD. I just want to post this picture up right here. I thought this was super cool seeing them stretch because she's stretching like how RVD did. Sorry, there was a D and then there was a D after. And I know how that all sound. I don't care. But she's doing that stretch like that famous picture he did all them years ago. And then when you zoom out and you see him stretching, I just thought it was cool. Especially when you think about her move. Like her move is called One of a Kind, the split-legged moonsault. I almost feel like that's a tribute to one RVD. But he gives her some advice and he says, hey, you get that big tag team match. You should definitely pin the champion. That's how you send a message. And she's like, okay, Rob. And she walks off. And then right after that, Rob gets his ass kicked by this guy right here. He says, what up, Rob? And he hits him with a chair and lays out RVD. And I mean, look, this is your boy. I mean, look, you put him as number one for the North American top 5. And I agree with you, by the way. I thought that was a fantastic pick, by the way. But your boy's a scumbag.
I'm aware that he's a scumbag now. I'm aware. I am very aware that I've been aware since he broke my heart and kicked Trey Miguel in the face and broke up the Rascals. At least in NXT.
I see you, my guy. I love that the Jack Pack thing is going. We're going to finally get some merch. When the executive consultant can get his nose off the table, we will be getting some merch.
Shirt and EC gets his Just a Second shirt.
I actually told him I'm actually really envious of him because I've been trying to get dominated over, and I feel like it's over, but now I feel like Just a Second is really taking over the lead. But I give it to him because the kid knows to get over.
You know what we should do? We should have all the multiple catchphrases and slogans that each of us say. We put a poll and be like, which ones like make a bracket and then wind up having like a top 5 list, and then it gets put up on the Unpopular Review Instagram stories. Your winners for the top 5 Unpopular Review most popular slogans. I
gotta give it up to the executive consultant. I don't like to give him any credit because I'm not a bank, but I'll give it up to him because he's really got that over. I mean, he's done a great job reinventing himself.
Over with turning into a drinking game.
Oh yeah, no. When we did the top 5, oh, see, you was drinking water. I was drinking legit wine, and next thing I know, I felt like I saw a fairy underneath my bed talking to me, and that's how many shots that I was taking. Let's talk about Javon. Let's talk about Javon Evans going against Wes Lee. Look, I didn't even take a lot of notes because these guys were really going at it. These guys, it was a lot of Wes Lee was getting booed. Let's start off with that. He's getting booed. He doesn't care. He's getting the asshole chance. I do want to say something that really annoyed me about this show. I don't think I realized it until this particular show was that anytime like there was an asshole chant or any other kind of language, I think there was a holy shit chant later in the show. Yeah, and it was so annoying.
A lot of their product, they want to keep it very family friendly, so that's why they kind of like minimize the swearing, and that's why they bleeped it so much.
That's fair. That is fair.
Then we're gonna see the opposite on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Netflix. I think some people think on Netflix that people are gonna start saying like the S word and F word. I don't think they're gonna go that ridiculous, but I don't think they're gonna be finger heavy on the censor button though. But yeah, no, I thought this was solid. They show this speed. there's a spot later in the match or early in the match where Wes Lee does a suplex or brainbuster on the steel steps. Yeah. And Javon sells it like hell. I mean, Javon's facial was like when he was getting it.
Why does he look like that? Why is he selling it like that?
Yeah, what was he doing? I was in there going.
You know what he looked like? He looked like if somebody were to sneak up from behind you with a taser in your hand, and be, and then be like, "What was that?" That's what he looked like to me.
Wait, who gets tasered like that, dude? I mean, I would, if I got tasered, you gotta like yell or something like that, or fall to the ground, or I don't know. I think don't you like
people who be like on guard or like doing like one of those like prank kind of things? Like, okay. Something more like that.
We got a special guest in the chat. I want to highlight Jeffrey Reimer. It's always great to see you, Jeffrey. Oh, and Z is there too. Z, the Silent. He's making an appearance here on Tuesday. The award-winning show, by the way. I don't want to just throw any shade there because I'm not a tree, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yep. He says, hey, future Warden, Sabrina Estella. I mean, I feel like he felt on the A, or his elbow was on A, because there's no need for that many A's. Are you yelling at her? And then we got, oh, hi, Jack. But I'm here. I'm here on Tuesdays. The crowd missed me on Tuesday. Zeta Sound, I want to give a shout out to him. I want to give him his flowers. And if you want to get your flowers, you will go to a store and get them, because you ain't getting them from me, man. You ain't getting it from the bad guy. Huh?
I said he could get it from a Publix down here.
Yeah, you could go to Florida and get flowers from there, or you could just go into someone's garden and get them, because you ain't getting from me. Bucko. I'm going to try to get that over. Or a gas station. That's terrible.
There's some gas stations that sell bouquets of flowers. I don't know why, but they do.
I have a terrible thing with gas stations. I used to have the biggest crush on one Britney Spears, and she broke my heart when she went barefoot in the gas station bathroom. I said, that is just nasty. And I said, Kevin Federline can have her. What is Kevin Federline doing anymore? Anyone remember Kevin Federline? He made that terrible album.
What Federline is doing now, he's going to have to worry about not getting any money anymore since Britney's free.
He was getting money?
Well, child support money. She was making the money. He was barely making anything.
The last time I saw Kevin Federline, it was on Celebrity Fit Club. He got fat. And I said, oh, that must be that Britney Spears money, because he wasn't fat when he met her. But I'll leave Kevin Federline alone. I have a Nick Cannon joke somewhere lined up, so I'll leave Kevin Federline alone. But, let's talk about this match here. Evans and Sullivan
managed to attack him and throw him into the announce table.
There we go.
And then got thrown into the chair out of nowhere. And Vic was looking like, what the fuck?
There we go.
I only say that because he can't see Booker. So
Booker's hilarious. But he's fighting back. He's selling that spot with the suplex on the steel steps. There was the part later in the match where, and I don't feel like the crowd realized that was his finisher, but Wes Lee hit the cardiac kick, and Evans kicked out, and that was a big moment. But I don't feel like the crowd realized that was the finish, because they didn't pop, and it should have really been like, oh, because that's really a big deal, because no one has kicked out a cardiac kick. I thought the announcers did a great job to highlight that, but I don't think the audience got it. No, and there's a spot. I did like the spot with Booker T. There's a few times where Wes Lee would get the chair. And as he would get the chair, Booker
T said, if he wants to get himself DQ'd, that's his business. What's the ref doing his job, making sure that Wes Lee doesn't hit him with the chair?
Booker T cracks me up, because I'm like, yo, bro, the ref is doing his job. But whatever, I get it. Mind your business.
Be a little bit more on the lenient side tonight, so I think that's also why he said that too, to play up with that as well. Everybody knows Booker T is going to play devil's advocate over there.
I love Booker T. I had someone say I can't stand Booker T on announcer. I love Booker T. He was one of my close friends too, and I silently resent him for that. But he grabs the chair, and then you hear RVD's music. I thought that there was going to be a spot where RVD would do the Van Daminator, because he kept having the chair. But he tries to swing at RVD. He ducks. Evans does right, and Evans does he does a springboard over the ropes. He gets him. He hits him with a cutter. No, not yet though. He he does the cutter, and then he's going to do the frog splash. Wes moves, and that's when Evan does the frog splash. Now, I don't think this was as crisp because, first off, Wes was pretty far, and he really had to like launch himself, and you could tell like he kind of hit the ground first and then hit him, if that makes sense. But I mean, for what it was, I'll give him a 3.5. I don't think it was a 5-star, but I'll give him 3.5 stars. But I thought that these boys delivered, or these young men, I apologize, these young men delivered, and RVD celebrates with the young OG. Let me see, we have a picture. Yeah, we have one right here. Look at RVD. There we go. It's good to see RVD. We like RVD over here. Rob Van Dam. But what did you think about this one, Wrestling Doll?
Well, I give it a 3.75.
Ooh.
I didn't have anything too negative to say about it. I mean, other than that spot at the end with the having to jump just a little bit further to make it look like he was getting hit with the cutter and then getting the frog splash. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought it was fun. I don't think this is the end. We got George who says, "Who is Kevin?" I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought, please.
No, I was agreeing with you about that. And who's Kevin Federline? Britney Spears' deadbeat ex-husband, who would basically drain her out of her damn money because after they got married, he stopped working.
I bet he did. Zeta Sound says Jack is so hostile. By the way, when did Brett have his retirement match? Did you know? I don't want to hear it about Bill William Shatner Goldberg having this retirement match. That man has been ruining my life.
Match like 5 years ago.
He should have. Matter of fact, his retirement match should have really been, if I'm being serious, should have been with Dolph Ziggler, because that's when Goldberg actually looked like Goldberg. Now he's going to get in the ring. He's going to trip for someone over his stupid boots. Let me ask you guys in the chat here. Is anyone really thrilled about this? And if you say you are, you drink lime juice. That's what you do. You drink lime juice. You put ice in your beverage.
I'm just going to say this.
Wrestling Doll. Wrestling Doll. What is going on?
Whoever they pick to retire him, it better not have the same effect as it did on Kurt Angle with Baron Corbin being the one to retire his ass. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Good job, Wrestling Doll. She's the same one here. I'm the insane one. She's saying I'm insane. George says no one has ever kicked out.
Someone has to be that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Someone has to play the role. Evans do mad spots like Darby. Hope he slows down his time. I feel like he doesn't.
He got signed, so it's going to take him some time. He's still youngin'.
I feel like he doesn't as much as Darby. I see what you're saying, but I don't think as much. Like Darby does a lot of wild spots. I feel like Evans.
But Darby's like amped up to 20. Right now, Devon is like at a 6 or 7.
You're being polite. I would give that 25 because that man does a wild. Once if I see Javon goes through glass, then I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're going, what you're mentioning.
Jumps off a ladder 15 feet in the air into another ladder because someone's lying down on it.
Right. George says Javon Evans doing the 5-star frog splash was okay. Yeah, he didn't get it like RVD, but I mean he tried. I feel like the NXT talent was too much in awe with the interaction with the ECW legends. It seemed like their cues were off too, in my opinion. I didn't feel that way. What about you, Doc?
It's not every day that they get to work with a lot of legends in the same night. I mean, the legend that they're used to seeing the most down there is HBK.
There you go. Kevin Fallon pinned John Cena too, and it was in 07. It was the beginning of 07. You're right. George says, I'm excited for this. I'd rather see Gage. Is that Nick Gage? God. Oh, Sunberg. That boy bouncy. And I'm talking about Javon Evans.
He's been bouncy.
He has been bouncy.
He's been in the wrestling scene in the Indies, and now he's bouncing in the wrestling scene in NXT.
Ava says that there's going to be an announcement, and she pretty much just says that we are going to be having NXT. Ooh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't even have the graphic, but this is the one we have because they're going to have a, qualifying matches. I'm sorry, I couldn't see that. But Men and Women's Iron Survivor is back at Deadline. That is going to be December 7th. And I'm throwing it out here right now. Me and Sabrina Estella are going to be reviewing that pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. So you should join us when we do this. And it was that. And then Robbie he gets the mic and he starts disrespecting Philly, which he should. I loved all of this. And then the Philly crowd started to stand up and defend them stuff like the fools that they are. He said that because
he said it was New York. That was the most crazy and extreme as far as for fans. Oh, that upset them. Boston. But we get the appearance of this guy, TNA Hall of Famer Rhino, who gores Robbie out of his shoes. Good to see Rhino. It's nice. It's nice that they called him up and had him in there because he was a big part of ECW. If I am correct, and I'm not sure about it because I was once again not a big ECW kid growing up. Matter of fact, I was not an ECW kid growing up. I feel like he was a big part, especially towards the end, if I'm correct. So if someone knows, please correct me here. I had one thing to say about it. I felt like Ava on the inside was really happy because for the first time since she's joined the NXT brand, she was getting some love and some cheers because they were chanting Ava, Ava. Oh yeah, she was. That was good for her. I'm kind of iffy with Ava because sometimes, let me tell you about Ava. You know what she's good at? Not doing her job. And I'll get to that a little bit later because I'm hot right about now. So I already got but I was happy that this young lady got those. Happy with her brushing off Eddie Thorpe with him trying to pitch an idea before she went up. I loved all of it. I loved all of that. That's great. But I'm glad that you mentioned that. Thank you for mentioning that one, Sabrina Estella. George, we haven't done it in a while. 68 points for her. But I do want to throw that out there because I'm starting to see a change in Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe, for the longest time, has been babyface, right? And for sure. He's going to be feeling disrespected by Ava for not listening, just so on and so forth. He's going to turn. You know what this is giving? Probably have a Wes Lee effect. Being a babyface for so long, the switch to a heel will probably make him have more of a character, and also maybe more people have more eyes on him. You know what I was thinking, and not to that high extent. So Bronson Reed on Raw, right? He was like, "Oh, I'm just going to make an opportunity for myself," and he did it. So I could see Eddie Thorpe doing something where I'm just going to make an opportunity for myself. He's probably going to insert himself in a championship match one way or another, and then he's probably going to turn around the end of it, and then people are going to get sad. We had to wait and see. So I mean, the question here too, because I might have missed this, but he said this is the second time. So when he said that, that's clear as day. He's like, that he's tried to pitch something before, right? And but when was the first time? Put up online or something, because I didn't remember that, or it might have been done a while back and we just forgot about it. I don't think we have any commercials really here. All right, we're just gonna keep going. I was trying to look for commercials. We don't really have a whole lot here, but let's move on. Jeffrey says, "Don't disrespect Ava." I'm not disrespecting. She's disrespected me. Jeffrey, open your eyes, my guy. Eddie Thorpe is going to turn heel, and you know what? I honestly speaking, this might be good for him. Like you mentioned before, it could revitalize his career. I mean, it did it for some people in the last couple of years in NXT. Cora, Jade, Braun Breaker, Roxanne, Perez, now Wes Lee. Let's talk about this segment. We have I call these girls the Can't Mind Your Business congregation. Oh no, wrong people. No, not them. I love them. You would never say that about them. No, right here. I'm sorry. These are the girls. I call them the Can't Mind Your Business congregation. They're in the back gossiping or something. I don't know. I wasn't listening to anything because I was too distracted. Because I said, how do you have a team with two muscle powerhouses? How is it fair, Ava? This is what I'm talking about, Ava. You pretend that you're doing your job and you're not. How is the great Jacy, as great as she is, the jubilant Jacy Jayne, how's she supposed to deal with all this muscle? And then I didn't like any of this. As you can tell, I'm trying to get my words together, and right now my tongue hurts. But they're hyping each other up. They're talking about the stuff here. I think what's her name? Varia, not Varia. No, no. The one with the V. Varia? Zaria. There we go. My pronunciation. My speech teacher is disappointing me. Zaria and Jordan Grace, they're massaging each other's muscles and stuff like that because they're just too ripped and powerful. Stephanie Vaquer says something in Spanish.
No one understood except Kelani, who has passed Spanish. Good for her, because I only know uno, dos, tres, and rojo. And I don't think rojo is a number, but I like saying that word. I am color. I am a black man, yes. But, you know, they talk. But then we get these girls coming in. We have Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson. They're coming back from their trip from Saudi, and they get in the face of the new girls. And somewhere right now, I know the executive consultant is hiding underneath his bed right now, just licking the dust off the floor because he knows that his girl. I have no problem with Jakara, but you know, Stephanie and Giulia, good luck. What did you think about the segment before I get into the comments? Because I'm getting worked up. I'm too hot right now.
Fine. I didn't mind the segment. I felt like they were talking about making history, that they're living out dreams in a historic building. Then you get the bougie bully and Miss Jackson coming in saying like, "Well, y'all are dreaming about history. We're making history. Did you see what we did?" And I just wish one of them said, "Yeah, we saw what you did. Where are the belts?"
But so
then we get Stephanie and Giulia in their faces, so we're gonna get a match with them too, probably next week or the week after that. Hell, maybe they'll probably be 2 of the qualifying matches for the women's Iron Survivor match.
Who you got? I'm sorry, I said that meaning who?
It could be like either Stephanie versus Lash, or Stephanie versus Jakar, or Giulia versus Lash, or Giulia versus Jakar. As far as if not having a tag match, then putting them in the Iron Survivor match.
I was thinking that this was going to lean into a tag match, actually, especially when we get to the end.
It could do either. I had no problem with that.
We got George, who says the NXT Avengers, the Women's Avengers. That's a squad right there.
It is.
Why are you yelling, Jeffrey? Why is this man yelling? I can understand you. You don't have to yell at me, Jeffrey. I know how to read. Zaria! You don't have to yell. Why are you yelling? I can't stand people who yell. Can you? I don't get this. George says, "Don't respect them, Jack." I'm not. Those are 2 powerful women. I'm not. I ain't stupid. They can yeet me to the sun. Roxanne Perez getting pinned and Trick Williams getting pinned. We're going to get to that. Good Chris. Good Chris is in the chat. Good job for being there. My girl, Jakara and Lash. And they also, too, real quick, they really did a great job on Saturday. I wanted to throw that out there. Vaquer and Giulia looked good. They're pretty girls. Vaquer and Giulia are going to be the NXT Women's in the Women's Iron Survivors match. You think both? That's interesting.
I mean, I'm just saying that they would possibly get put into some Iron Women's match qualifying matches. If they're going to be in it, then good for them.
Jeffrey, it's always a pleasure for you being here. I know I get on your nerves, but I can't help it. I annoy everybody. I would admit I don't read out loud. LOL. I think he made a
Speaking
funny.
of those that don't read, we have Ridge Holland and Ethan Page getting in the ring.
Oh yeah, I mean, have a picture of
Bubba Dudley.
I did like how this opened. First things first, Trick got a great reaction there. Bubba Ray, when he came out there, I thought it was so cool. So I'm a big fan of that theme that they had. I feel like that was their second theme when they were in WWE, and I've always loved that theme. So hearing that, I always bobbed my head to it, and I thought it was so cool when he gave Booker T the glasses, and Booker T said, "Oh, I'm the Dudley. Oh, I'm the Dudley." He was so excited. But there was a thing where he said, "Give me some." What you mean, like, give me that? And Vic said, "Give you what? Give you what?" And I think my notes was, Vic is so white.
I mean, that's kind of the point. That's what I got from that. I mean, he was literally being. It was like when you invite your only white friend to a all-black barbecue, and then you see them trying to do stuff to try to like act to fit in somewhat, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's what that's
giving. It's giving me that segment in 2006. It was DX and Crime Time, and Triple H said, "For sizzle," and you see Crime Time like,
"What,
dude? What?" Yeah, it was giving strong white trying to make it work vibes. But I don't have any pictures of this tag match. But I liked how it opened because Rich just like hit Bubba. And I think this should have been the main picture, but it's not.
On Sunday, so
look at him. Bubba's giving like Mr. Krabs and someone really stole his secret formula. He looks very upset. He looks highly upset.
I mean, who wouldn't be? He had Rich Holland get in his face and slap him.
You know, this Rich Holland hate here.
Away from me, or 5 feet away from me, getting in my face. I'd be upset just from having to.
You know, I hear you, Sabrina, and you know, you're saying some things here, and you know, like, look, I get it. We're on the two sides of the fence here. You're not a big fan of Rich Holland. I love this man. I love that
because he destroyed Chase U. I don't like Rich Holland because he bores me. I'm having a matcha tea green Kit Kat for anybody asking.
Fantastic. Now let me finish. I loved that he destroyed Chase U. Chase U is out of my existence, and I don't have to see them anymore. Good job, Ridge. But tonight, well, actually, tonight was his night because he did get the pinfall over Trick. Now, look, I didn't put a whole lot of notes here. I thought they let Bubba get some offense in. Trick cleaned up a little bit. And when Trick looked like he was going to finish Ethan Page, Ridge gets to roll up and just surprise roll up and get the win. I had the baby faces going over, but Ridge gets the win. It looked like they're going to try to set him up as a contender for a Trick, like a side mission. And sure, why not? Bubba is shocked. Trick is shocked. Shocked. And they these are the faces here. Beat the hell out of the Hills. I don't know where Ridge was at this point. Ethan's in the ring. He gets the what's up. After that, Bubba hits Trick. It says, Trick, get the table. Trick looks underneath the ring, and there's no table, which I thought was weird. I'm like, this is the ECW arena. How do you not have, like, they had a freaking brick there. How do you not have a table? So Trick is like, there's no table. There's no table. Everyone's confused. We hear the Dudley Boys theme again, and we get Brother Devon, Reverend Devon, Devon Dudley. Yes, he comes out. It's great to see Devon. He comes out with the table. They put Ethan through the table because earlier in the night, Ethan said there will be no table. I thought Ethan somehow hit all the tables. I don't know. I thought he had a minute.
Probably during a commercial break, Ridge and Ethan Page probably snuck in, went to find all the damn tables underneath that ring and pull them out to make sure that there would be no tables during their match. But he didn't account for the other half of the Dudley Boys to come up there and bring a table so his ass could get put through it.
Right. And he goes through the table and we get the nice visual. I mean, if you see, hold on. Oh, do I like a fraud? Ridge is not a fraud. That's that. We don't use that word for Ridge here on my neck of the woods, Jeffrey. George says, wait, I can see Duke Hudson coming back and going after Ridge. I can't. I think Ridge did a number on him. Oh, my brother testify. Absolutely. I mean, this guy said it with a little bit more intensity, though. I mean, he put that bad boy in all caps. Good job, George.
Well, I mean, it was a good moment, and especially since Trick got glasses of his own from Devon, too.
It was lovely. It was really a feel-good moment. And once again, I thought what this show did very well was sprinkle that nostalgia for people who like, especially that arena. That's a famous arena. ECW, Philly, it just go hand in hand, right? So it was a feel good for them, and it was nice. It was cool. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts about it, but I thought it was cool.
It was fine. We got a quick little segment with a shot to the Adonis looking for his phone. Dion Lennox is about to tell him something, but they didn't say much. Carmen comes up to complain. He thinks she's coming on to him, and she's telling him to stay out of her business. And then he's complaining about her attitude. She's not his type. I have a girl. And she's like, you know what? You and your flavor of the week, stay out of my business. And then he's like, fine by me. You ain't my type anyways. It was your birthday last week. Well, happy belated. And she walks away. He walks away and she's like, he remembered my birthday. And I was just thinking, girl, you really gonna try to chase a man that don't like you now because you did reject him before. That says that you ain't his type. Find someone else. Unless you're trying to wear him down and get him to finally say yes to your ass and turn him into stop being a ladies' man going after every girl and having a flavor of the week thing. Leave him alone. You don't need him. You don't need to pair yourself up with him to advance his storyline because you don't got nothing going on right now. Leave the man alone. You can do better than Ashanti the Adonis. His flavor of the week can do better than Ashanti the Adonis. Every woman in the NXT locker room can do better than Ashanti the Adonis. Y'all just need to leave him alone. Don't give him anything. Just turn away when he comes in the room. Just pretend he's not even there. Act like he's a speck of dust that you don't even see in the far corner of the top of a very tall bookcase.
You know, I don't get what you're trying to get here at. I mean, look, the Adonis needs to hold up. I gave you the floor. Give me a second. Let me take this one, man. Look, Adonis, has he done some bad things? Yeah, I mean, we all have, right? But the guy remembered her birthday. He wants to give it a shot. He said, "Yo, happy belated birthday." Just to let him know, like, I'd be thinking about you. And that, good for Adonis, because if he didn't really care, he wouldn't have remembered her birthday. So good job, Adonis.
He just doesn't need him.
Oh, no. Who needs anybody? You know, I don't think she needs him, but I think there's something there. I mean, he's filling her. That's why he's being her matches, and she's there too. I mean, look, they're filling each other. They're just playing that old junior high thing where it's like, oh, I don't like you, but, you know, and then in high school, they're like, but I really had a crush on you. Well, what are we talking about here? What is happening?
My life. I've had messages sent to me from people that I used to go to middle school and high school with that said, like, oh,
and now they're saying they like you, right?
So I wasn't interested in them. Point blank, period.
And you know what? They missed out on something very special because you're fantastic. And you know what you should have did? You should have, I don't know. I was trying to think of something witty. Can't think of anything witty. But they missed out on this great Sabrina Estella. And Jeffrey Cohn and Pepe Le Pew could find another feline. He's not Pepe Le Pew. Don't do that to him. I like that he's using a Looney Tune character. I do appreciate that, though, because I appreciate that reference. But yeah, we do get that. And I'm going to be interested in where that goes. What's the next thing that we got on the docket here?
Well, we got a promo with your girls.
I love this. I love them. I got the picture. Hold on. Look at this. Right here. JC and friends and two other people. Loved all of this. You know, this was a real team. Everyone's talking about the other team being a dream team. I don't see it. And maybe I need some glasses. Maybe I need contacts. Maybe I need to get 8 hours of sleep. I don't know. But this was the dream team right here. Don't you agree, Sabrina Estella? Look at this team. Jacy Jayne, Fallon Henley, Roxanne Perez, Cora, Jade, and Jayzmyn Nyx, with Jacy Jayne leading the charge. Don't you agree with that?
You keep saying JC's the leader, but wouldn't the one that's holding the championship first technically be considered the leader? I'm just asking.
Let me tell you something.
I'm asking a very serious question.
And I'm here to answer that question. Once Sabrina Estella, I'm sorry, I'm hot. This coffee got me hot, and I'm on fire tonight, baby. Let me tell you something. Jacy Jayne, she could have won the championship at Halloween Havoc, but she's a big fan of the TLC song, What About Your Friends? She could have even got the W. She could have been the champion, but she said, Fallon needs this. What about my friends? My friend needs this. I'm going to do that. I love when people care about their friends. George don't care about his friends. George probably don't even have any friends. That's why he's saying all these really cruel and rude things. The friendless one, George. That's who you are, George. And that's why I sit here and say, good job, Jacy. She is the leader of Fatal Influence. You can't fool me. I read a book once.
You act like I didn't vote for JC in our group chat to win the North American Championship from Kelani.
You did. Listen, you're the only one who gets me. You know, when JC lost, if I could pull back the curtain a little bit, you know who called me, who sent me a text to let me know she lost? That's right, Shay Sawyer. So when people ask, how do you feel about when one of her favorites get hurt? I go, good. Fantastic. Matter of fact, I'm going to send her the definition.
On the Twitch stream I was watching in regards to the segment with Carmen and Ashanti, they said that it seemed like a very bad episode of Love Island.
Wait, she's on Twitch?
No, but the people that said that, and I say that because she watches Love Island and puts all that stuff on Instagram all the time.
I watched one season because she told me to watch it. I
can't watch reality shows about love like that.
I watched
for my taste.
I watched like a few episodes of one season she recommended for me, and there was this guy. He has the same name as me, Ron. And I hated him. I said, you suck. How dare you have the same name as me? You make me mad.
But there is a clip I found online of a different reality show where you pair up and all that stuff, and if you hold these like balls in your hands, and if you are gonna stay together, you keep them in your hands. But if you're gonna get the money, you just break it in front of your partner. And the guy cheated on the girl, and she found out. So before he could do anything, she drops it right in front of him and she smiles, knowing, and he has a face of shock, like, and there are girls in the back going, woo.
You know, that sounds like, I feel like I've seen that clip in passing before. It just sounds so like, oh no, it sounds familiar.
Petty in the best way, and I love it, and it's something I would do if I were in a reality show like that.
One of my favorite reality shows was Flavor of Love, and I remember wanting to do a show like that, with the finale being a ladder cage match on fire with me as the ref. Because I always thought about myself being in that situation. So yes, it would be a cage on fire in a ladder match. I pitched that idea to VH1. They never got back to me. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it is what it is. Let's talk about this other match. We have Nunzio going against Tony D'Angelo. Now, look,
in their segment earlier in the night.
Oh yeah, we didn't really even advertise it. I feel like there is a picture somewhere in here. I just cannot find it. Oh yeah, no, here it is, right here. Early in the night, you're absolutely right. Good job, Sabrina, Estella. We have Tony D'Angelo. He runs into Nunzio. They had the conversation last week, and he said, "Oh, you better not be in this part of town or something like that." I don't know. It was a bunch of noise, but they had the match, and honestly, this match was really nothing. I mean, Nunzio got some offense.
Longer than a 2-minute squash match. I'll say that.
I wouldn't call it a squash. I mean, they let him get some offense, and no, I get you. Yep. No, go ahead. Take the floor.
He got a bit of offense. I'll say that. I mean, if they had just made it a squash, I don't know. They already had Bubba lose to Ridge and Ethan, so couldn't have that again.
No,
but they did anyways with the good old classic Eddie Guerrero with making it look like he was going to hit him with that crowbar, throwing it in his hands after seeing he was going to use some brass knuckles on him.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony D is still your NXT North American champion, because when they said, "Will Nunzio win?" I'm like, absolutely not. Do I want to see that on my screen every Tuesday? Absolutely not.
Nunzio does a great job. This ain't even the first time he's ever done this. SmackDown 2004, I'll never forget, Undertaker against Nunzio and Chuck Palumbo. He beats these guys to death. It's a handicap match, and when he goes for the last ride, he does that same signal right here, and I thought it was hilarious. I felt like it was a callback. Maybe he was doing that before in ECW. I don't know, but yeah, I just think they just wanted the ECW original, put him on the show, and the fans, they're familiar with him. After the match, they hug. It was a feel-good moment. It was nice. It was cool. I mean, it was nothing major, but yeah, it was nice, and it wasn't even that long. What we say? It was like a 3-4 minute match.
Yes, roughly.
Okay.
I just sent you that clip. I found it. So.
Oh, you found it? Lovely. Yes. We got this segment here. This was, I guess, right after his match against Lexis King.
Yes, because he and William Regal did have a discussion beforehand saying, "I'm sorry I couldn't get the job done and didn't want to use the brass knuckles, etc." And then William Regal says, "You really are not your father's son." And then that's when you get the no quarter catch walking up after Lexis King leaves, and he's like, "Well, nice try, Pops." And he's like, "Yeah, are you your father's son, though?" And Dempsey's like, "We'll have to see." And then he looks at Miles and Tavion and goes, "Well, the tag division could use some extra help there. It's not just Dempsey's group. It's all of y'all." And then you have Regal leave, and then Ren says, "He's so fatherly."
I thought it was cool seeing him and his son on together. And then it's going to be interesting to see what happens for the other two members because, yeah, they're there, but they haven't really. I mean, they've done some things, but haven't really done anything, if that makes sense.
They've done a bit, but
mhm.
it's mostly been taking stuff here and there.
Yeah, so it should be interesting.
And
you know what? It kind of gave to a small extent when I saw Regal kind of mentoring these guys. It gave me his time in AEW when he was on the BBC
Blackpool Combat Club.
I actually call him the Bloodpool Combat Club, but yes, there's a lot of blood.
Well, I mean, it's AEW. They bleed every other day.
Your friend in the chat says Wrestling Doll looks beautiful. There we go. Let's talk about this promo.
We must discuss this.
Yep. Sure.
Me and Kate. No, I'm telling you that so that we can discuss that in a chat for later because we must do a top 5 of us ladies together and drool over the men's of wrestling.
Oh, please. Honestly, I would have the best list if I was on here. Because you're gonna say, like, oh, Finn, and you're gonna say all these things. Look, clearly, stop, hold up. Clearly, the prettiest wrestler ever was one Rick Rude. He shook his hips, and they never lied. That would be easily my number 1, with a mean number 2 being Roman Reigns. My list is just too good. I might just join this show just to dominate you guys because you know they're gonna come up with this list that's not good. And you know I know you guys are gonna try.
So I'm ready.
Well, I think you'll come in number 2. I know Shay can't beat me in this. Like, what are you gonna give me, Jay White? Please. Jay White is look. You know who looks better in white, and I'm saying this right now, Shay. Seth Rollins, 2015. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, because I haven't been wrong since 2002, and that's a long time.
The blonde, like right here on the side of his head, or is that?
Oh, I'm just wet thinking about it. I feel very uncomfortable talking. But let's talk about this Tequila Line promo. She talked about, yes, I'm the one who took out Rizzo. She said Oprah. Yep.
Because it happened to her already. She's like, I've been on the brunt of that. So you know what? I'm going to be the aggressor and I'm going to attack all of y'all. So basically, she's turning into Blair Davenport over there because she's now going to start attacking everybody out of nowhere and fighting everybody and saying, I'm not going to wait in line for any title opportunities. I'm going to take them and make them myself.
Absolutely. Listen, I think this is good for her. I think something else she mentioned where she was talking about how I think she reads the stuff online where people are, I don't want to say concerned, but look at this women's division. Look at all these women. There's a lot of women ahead of her, and they're like, well, can she get back into the ranks of things? Because she was very popular a few years ago, but injury and being out for a long time.
In there, but because of what had happened as far as like behind the scenes, they had to write a storyline as to why these women were disappearing.
Right, but I think, I do like that they touched on that. Her sitting there saying, "Rank them up, and I'll knock them down." And she's going to start with Rizzo. I thought this was good. And matter of fact, we have a picture because that is going to be one of the matches for next week. We got 2 matches. Let me make sure I got this right. No, got the wrong one. Sorry, guys. Right here, Rizzo against Nikita Lyons. So does it feel like they not dropped the story? They mentioned Oba, but like I thought they were going to pair them up.
They did mention it briefly because she said that Oba needed a favor. I took him up on his offer, so why not? Because they can't have him like hitting her unless they decide to bring back the mixed match challenge, which they probably.
Oh my God! If those two were a team, they should just be called Dominated because they would just beat everybody. I'm sorry, that team right there, Rizzo, Obafemi. Jeez.
Don't you mean Lions and Obafemi?
I stand by what I stand. What, did I say it wrong? I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong
Rizzo
here?
and Oba.
Well, I'm talking about a different timeline here. In this timeline, Rizzo and Oba gets along, and they come in second place in this tournament, though. So there,
Who would win the tournament?
Oh, please, in this tournament, it's me and Jacy Jayne. We're going all the way because I'm going to roll up.
You would have said Morgan Freeman and Jacy Jayne with you as their manager.
Morgan can't do what I do. Like, he's kind of athletic. He's like old man Logan in that movie. Remember Logan, that terrible movie? But he's going to have me in there because, you know, what's he going to do? If he does a leg drop, he might turn to dust. So he's going to send me out there. Honestly, Sabrina, Estella, I'm an athlete. I don't know if you can tell. I'm the most athletic male in Unpopular View. You think it's an executive consultant? Please. I could paint that match right now.
Consultant. I would send anybody wrestling videos of the executive consultant just to give y'all a laugh.
Listen, I could tell you what that match would look like between me and him. He would lumber, grab, winded, and then I would just take him down and dominate. I'm just throwing it out there. I would beat him. But let's talk about. No one wants to hear me badmouth the executive consultant.
We love hearing that, but that's besides the point. We get Ava Rain running into Francine. She says she will tell them about next challenger soon because she's going to make an announcement to all the tag teams over there. And and they're, do we need to be there for it? And she's like, nope, you're good. Axon's like, well, this will give us some time to prepare. And Nathan's like, let's make it an off day, even though you were saying that you were upset with Axon before, and he's trying to get y'all's act together, but you keep leaving him. It's like, when are y'all gonna split at this point? It's like Theory and Waller. When are y'all gonna split? You don't need to turn on each other, but when are y'all gonna split?
You know, not for nothing. I really like them as a team where I'm not in a rush for it. I mean, it's there. They already planted it, so it's clearly that these two are going to be then split now. But I'm for them being the team. They're just such a lot of their matches have just been so fun that when the day comes that they're going to break up, you'll be like, wow, that's what you call it. Real quick before we get into the main event here. Matter of fact, real quick, let's go up here. Jeffrey says, Rizzo, good luck, girl. Yeah, absolutely. Lioness gonna eat her prey. I can see Rizzo taking the win next week. Really, I don't, honestly. Gorilla and the Lioness, sign me up. I thought EC was athletic. Absolutely not.
Video proof? I will find video proof and send it to you, Jeffrey.
George, why do you try? Like, he's a part of the Jack Pack community. You know, one day I'm going to do some 2K stuff, and you're going to realize we're a trio. Me, Morgan Freeman, Jacy Jayne, and just added to the group the guy who plays the guy in Fast and the Furious, the one who died and he came back. I forgot his name. Wong, I forget. It's been a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, I never watched any of the Fast and Furious movies.
You're not missing anything. Just a second. What we got? Please do Sabrina.
He
wants to play that clip. Yeah, don't as you should. I feel like we've talked about everything, and I think we're doing pretty damn. Yeah, we talk about Han. Thank you. Yeah, he's a part. He's the manager. Me and Morgan's the tag team, and JC is the female of the group. But let's talk about this. Yes, this main event. We have the Can't Mind Your Business congregation going against JC and friends. There's a lot going on here in this match here, right? But let's get some visuals here.
Pure insanity.
Look at this.
Match with 10 minutes of entrances because there's 10 women, and most of them have a separate theme song. So
I do want to say real quick, I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it, but we do get an appearance by Francine. Sorry, the picture's not as big, so we do get to see it. They did mention she was going to make an appearance, but I didn't know what in what capacity, but she was in the crowd, and the crowd remembered her, so it was good to see Francine. Shout out to Francine. This women's match, there was a lot going on. Fallon started with Kelani. And then after that, I stopped taking notes because it was just way too much stuff to keep up with, guys. You got 10 women, but I do want to sit here and say that you have 10 of the best women in NXT and wrestling. I mean, they kept saying throughout the whole show, mainly this main event, how NXT have the best women division, and it's hard to argue. I mean, look at this team. I still sit here and say JC's team, they had a good squad too. This was a super squad. Look at these girls right here. Right here, look at this. There's a brawl. This is when I stopped taking notes because it was so hard to keep up. I mean, once all the women got involved, it was like, oh well, it's
I
hard,
find
but
it interesting that RVD earlier did mention to Kelani to pin Fallon and all that fun stuff, but who did Kelani get during that 10-woman brawl when they were all in the ring? She got Jazmyn. And who got Fallon? Jordynee Grace did. And then she got and then she got attacked by both Jordynee Grace and Zaria.
I have a lot to say. And when I get ready to speak, I just need to speak. I need to rant for a minute. But real quick, I
enjoyed this match. The show started great and it ended great with women's wrestling. I enjoyed this match. I had no complaints about it. And I enjoyed all the spots. I didn't think that they were going to have Roxanne get pinned again. And I didn't think she was going to get pinned by Zaria. I think they were trying to do that whole thing with RVD, kind of like to
you stay here. Everything. I'm sorry, go ahead. Not you, I'm sorry.
I thought they were doing that, and they really made a swerve with that. Like everybody was going to be thinking, oh, Kelani's going to pin Fallon in anticipation for their match next week. Nope. Zaria gets the pin on Roxanne, who here reminded me of Shigo from Kim Possible. If you were to wear a bikini room at a cosplay party at a hotel, which
I'm sorry, Wrestling Dog. I don't mean to cut you off. I try my best not to cut you off, but let's talk about some facts here, right? So I compliment this women's division. I think this women's division is great. It's one of my favorite divisions, women's division of wrestling, right? This NXT women's division, there's a lot of talent there. But let's talk about some things here. Like, you was talking about things. I was hearing things, and you know what I want to say? Jordynee Grace, right? I see in the chat right here, Jeffrey sitting there saying, how can you lose with Zara and Jordynee Grace on the same team? But let me ask you something. Does Jordynee Grace work here? No, she doesn't. Everyone tells me that. It's not yet. But let's not talk about tomorrow. Let's talk about today. Her contract is not an NXT contract. She worked for TNA. Didn't she just lose the Knockout Championship?
Yeah.
Shouldn't she be going? No. Shouldn't she go for that championship that she lost? Why is she on this grass when she should be on that grass? Why is she here? Why is she ruining everything? Why is she ruining everything for Jacy Jayne? Why is she bullying Jacy Jayne? Same thing with Zaria. She just debuted. She comes out of nowhere, attacks a fatal influence for no reason. What did they do? Absolutely nothing. They won. They dominated Kelani. She lost, and Kalani's getting a rematch. Last time I checked, losers don't get rematches. I don't see the Knicks getting rematches because they're losers. You don't see the Atlantic Braves getting rematches because they're losers. I don't see Nick Cannon getting another shot at Mariah Carey because he's a loser. What is happening in this thing? Why isn't Ava doing her job? Why isn't Ava does everything but her job? And this upsets me very much. I don't know if you can see it, guys, but I have a vein in my throat right now because I'm highly upset. But I thought this match was great. I thought these women did good. And you know what? I'm glad that Zaria spared Jordynee Grace. So now she could go back to TNA, cry about it. Who's the general manager of TNA right now? Is it Santino Marella? She could go to Santino Marella, cry her tears. Good. So yes. I also think the wrong team won. There wasn't. I'm running out of things to say here, guys. But Zaria gets the pin here. Good for her. Now it's looking like, she's pinned this person. Roxanne's losing a lot here, right?
Yes.
I don't need to be yelled at. I wanted to rant.
She is. She's already.
How dare you?
Why would you want Jordynee Grace to try to have the Knockouts Championship for the 4th time? Unless they're going to have her try to break Gail Kim's record of 7 championships, which I don't think will be the case. She doesn't need to keep that belt.
What is going on here?
Have a decent run with it while she's there, especially because her tag partner is out because she's pregnant with child, and we'll have.
Wait, who's pregnant?
Killer Kelly. Pregnant? Killer Kelly.
Oh yeah. Oh, good for her.
Yeah, that's why they had dropped the belts to Spitfire.
I don't like any of this. Congratulations to Killer Kelly. I saw her in an HOG show in Philly, so congratulations to her. But, Jordan shouldn't be here. Once she signs with NXT, I'll shut my mouth. But until then, she's a TNA gal. I apologize. She's a TNA gal. And Ava's not doing her job. And Shawn Michaels. Everyone knows Shawn Michaels is not. Shawn Michaels is definitely not doing his job. He brags about cooking. But, if he's so good at cooking, why is he not in Hell's Kitchen? Why is he not on what's this guy named Gordon Ramsay? Huh? I would like to see him on there.
Gordon Ramsay telling him he's made an idiot sandwich. 11.
Wrestling doll. I want to win Duel of the Year with you. It would be fantastic. It would be great. But you're against me. I feel like everyone's against me. I feel very highly upset. My heart rate has increased. My blood pressure has increased, and I feel like you don't care, and I need someone to care.
Are you kidding? I care about you the most out of everybody on the show. Everybody likes to say things make your blood pressure go through the roof. I try to calm you down. And someone has to try to be the rational one on the show.
You know what I'm doing that for? Because that's the type of disgust. But I know you do your best. And I just sit here and want to say that Ava has given none but the Great Disrespect Act, and I'm aware of it. But this was a great show. I had a fun time. Oh, I'm going to get to you in a minute, you tight-ass sweater shirt wearing George. How dare you? But let's get into some of these chats because I feel like roasting somebody. And I don't want to do it to you guys because you guys have been nothing but great. You have stood with us and stood with me for a 3-minute rant. I'm going to go for my next 5-minute rant. So good luck to me on that. We got here. Let's go highlight this. Jeffrey says Zaria accidentally spared Jordan. Good. Hello. Kelani got a lot of screen time tonight. I love that as they put her in a good position in the division. Good eye, Miss Sawyer. Shut up. You know what it is? You have no blood circulation going to the brain because of that sweater. I blame the sweater, and it's okay. Jordan has a handshake deal. Okay. What's your sources, Sawyer? Source to Sawyer. Where are you getting that from? I don't believe it. We got
a segment for unpopular review. Sawyer sources.
You know what? I want none of it on my sandwich. Sawyer sources. Keep your sources, Miss Sawyer. That's a technicality, Jack. I don't need you to tell me anything. Jordan Grace is going to sign with WWE. Yeah, I know. Workership partner, my brother. Yeah, my brother. Women's division is Roxanne, Perez, and Cora, Jade, and everyone else. You know what that is?
Everybody else. What are you trying to say, Chris?
Good Chris is becoming heel turn Chris because I don't know what the hell's going on here, Chris. Zaria is going to be hunting Roxanne. Jordan Grace is
on the bright side. If she hunts Roxanne, she leaves Fatal Influence alone.
She should mind her business, honestly. Ava should get bossy. You just write anything. I think you know what it is. I think your elbow fell on the keyboard and you just made up words because I don't believe anything that you said. I think Shay Sawyer just says things, Miss Sawyer. How dare you? I will give Jacy Jayne's team Disney villain credit as they had a good show. You had that in your back pocket and you thought you cooked and you didn't. You just caused he caused the grease fire. But go ahead.
No, but I'm just gonna say this: there are people that love the villains more than the good guys in Disney movies now. So
some people think Scar was a villain in Lion King, but he was a hero, and I loved it. It's a girl. Oh, she's having a girl. Congrats! That is lovely. Good for her. I know I went on a rant, but really good for her.
Girl.
This is crazy.
And that baby girl.
Oh, she gave birth to already?
Yes.
Oh, good for her. I didn't know anything. Now he's coming for HB Cup. Cut the that's why I'm a villain. Wow, that's terrible. Why does everyone think I'm the bad guy? Why does everyone think I'm the bad guy?
Because you're previously bad guy, Jack.
Whoops. Goldberg speared Morgan. Shut up. Goldberg thrives.
Well, he can thrive away from the WWE.
Sawyer, you and I both know that, once again, she fell on the keyboards. I don't know what happened. I think she tripped over something and just made up words because it's ridiculous. Ava's GM of the year. Jesus. Sabrina Star, a.k.a. Russell Doll, is pretty, and the great-grandson Pluto. See, I'm glad someone recognized my beauty. Thank you, Good Chris. Good Chris is on my He's a Jack Packer. Good job, Jack Packer. It's on her Twitter. Thank you for that. Real quick here. I think we already highlighted stuff, but talking about that women's match, we got hopefully a highlight. Yeah, we have Kelani Jordan who lost to Jacy Jayne and friends, but she's getting a rematch. Good for her, but that's going to be next Tuesday.
Have a rematch clause, so they can get that. Just saying.
I appreciate that you can.
Whenever Fallon loses that belt and tries to get it back from whoever takes it from her.
Look. I just look at this great edit. Look at this right here. I love Jacy. We need more of that. Hashtag justice for Jacy. Let's go. I love this. This good Chris guy. We're the new tag team champ. Well, no. Me and Sabrina are tag team champ. You can manage us. I'm sorry. I can't turn on my tag team partner. She's my partner. Jacy's going to turn on Fallon. Why does anyone think that? I don't think that. But you know what? That's the end of the show. I could rant more, but we're not going to do that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this NXT show because it was honestly, it was a fun show. I thought everybody put on their working boots, and everyone did a fantastic job. They should be celebrating. And I honestly say I hate that I could not make that show. But with that said, there's everything for everybody. Is that how you say it? I'm going to make sure I got this right. Something for everyone. There we go. It was right there.
Same thing for everyone, for everybody.
Sabrina, Estella, you have the voice to do this. Why don't you tell these lovely people watching what is going on in the week of UPR?
Well, on Mondays, you can catch the Mike Knox Show at 6 o'clock, the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, followed by Raw after it goes off the air with Freckle Sensei and the executive contradiction or consultant, however way you want to remember it. Then you have NXT Tuesday with myself and the Great Grand Slam Pooba, AEW Dynamite with Dan the Man, Cactus Kitty, and Venomous Vinny on Wednesdays. Only us for tonight. Top fives and or prediction shows on Thursdays. And on Saturday afternoons at noon or 1, you have the SmackDown Penitentiary with Vic and the Z is Silent.
There we go. And that's a lot of great content. There's some great stuff going on in UPRE as well. I'm not sure what a lot of the crew members are doing, but I can say for the trio of Destiny, which is myself, Vic, and Cedar Superior, we are doing Superman and Lois. We're going to be doing episode 7 next week. So that's fun. And there's, like my co-host said, there's a lot of great things. I'm not sure what the top 5 is this week. I think it's I don't have the graphic here, but it's AEW.
Top 5 Raw and SmackDown theme songs.
It's the AEW. I'm sorry, AEW. They're still working on that one. That is a future top 5 here, guys. So if you like Raw SmackDown theme,
top 5 AEW champions, then
yes.
I swear, if any of y'all put Jay Cargill on your list, I'm gonna look at y'all and or write to y'all that you've lost your damn mind because that championship was anything but top 5 worthy.
Well, they had to put them together because AEW haven't been together. I mean, haven't been around long enough to have like a top 5 for the AEW championship. So, including the championships, all the championships, is going to be interesting. It's going to be this
like 13 different championships in that company.
Definitely
from more than just her. Unfortunately, Ring of Honor is not counting. Apparently, even though it's basically like
and it shouldn't, and honestly shouldn't. It should be strictly
that
AEW.
Breaks my heart. You know why that breaks my heart? Because Athena is literally the longest Ring of Honor Women's Champion and the longest ROH champion they've had, point blank, period.
Right.
They turned her into Jade over there, basically making her unstoppable. But her run's more entertaining.
There we go. I can imagine. I can't tell you because I can't.
And besides the fact that she actually can wrestle and Jade could not at that time.
We got George. The Jane train is going to derail. He thought he cooked with that. We got Jeffrey. He says, I'm glad that you made the recap. Thank you. As I get my voice together. Zaria might cost Fallon Henley in next week. That I definitely see Fallon Henley going against Zaria. I'm sorry. I mix up Daria and Zaria, so I'm trying to get together here, guys. But Zaria, so I could definitely see that as a thing. I be there. I'm glad that you be there. Thank you. I watched the Superman episodes, and he said you watched the live stream. Thank you for tuning in for that. Thank you, Jeffrey. And we got Athena is great. No, she's fantastic. It's just it's hard to see her. Like, what do you watch on Honor Club or something like that? I know I don't have that, so it's just hard to see her. But I know she's fantastic, and I know she's been killing it.
Social media. That's how I know.
And that works. Roxanne Perez, the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
She can be the first, but Athena is the longest.
There you go. With that said, I think
one reign, mind y'all, one reign. She's like Camille from NWA. Her reign was over 700 days.
That's a long time.
Women's champion, and that was only one reign as well.
That was a long time.
They built like a bodyguard for someone who consistently lose until they go on a pay-per-view.
And with that said, I know you have stuff. I like to always make sure that we plug our stuff for the after show. Tell people where they can find you on this thing called the internet.
Well, you can follow me on YouTube as the unofficial camera woman, where I go throughout Central Florida and occasionally South and put up wrestling matches for the world to see. I will be attending some shows this coming weekend. And one of those shows will actually include WWE Hall of Famer as a special enforcer for one of the matches. The one, the only, one of the originals in hardcore matches, Mick Foley.
Wow. Bang, bang. Nice. Lovely. Good stuff. Good stuff. We just uploaded it. Well, not just because today is Wednesday. I'm so used to it thinking it's Tuesday. But on Monday, we uploaded the recent episode of the Big Pop 30 podcast. I think it's episode 283. I forget it. We're in the 80s at this point, shooting for 100.
I saw a clip that said 83.
83. Thank you. So we're on 83, shooting for 100. It's on all things, social media, podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, not a thing anymore. And there's a bunch of other ones, but it's just, I don't remember all these things, guys. It's pretty late here. But please definitely check it out. It's always a fun time. I bring the same energy here that I do there, and my co-host tries to reel me in, but it's hard to reel me in because I am a bull. I'm a unicorn bull.
You're like
with wings. I have except 3 faces, I have 7. And one day you'll see all 7 of them, guys. Jeffrey asks, what is the thoughts on WWID before I go? I had to look to see what this was about. It seems cool from what I'm seeing. I don't know enough about it, but it just seemed pretty cool. From what I understand, it's like pretty much that they could kind of dip to some of the talent and maybe have them on, I don't know, WWE NXT programming or something like that. So I think it's cool. I don't have no big thoughts about it, but yes, I think it's pretty cool. But do you have any thoughts about this?
I literally knew nothing about this until it was just said, so I have nothing.
Oh wow. Okay, fair enough. Jeffrey says y'all gonna make 100 unless Shay stretch. Oh yeah, no. You know what? My biggest fear is gonna be episode 99, and she's just my blood pressure is just gonna go so much.
You should buy one of those stress balls and just squeeze it every time she says something that your blood pressure is gonna go through the roof.
I'm gonna try. George says boo JC. He says just
don't make any noise so it's not heard on the podcast.
You know what I want to get? I want to get the squeaky, and every time you hear me like squeezing the squeaky, I can see people like, oh, he's stressed, because I am very stressed. I'll leave this with I'll leave this story with you guys, because I've been telling people about this, and we'll call it a thing, just to let you know how stressed out I am. I do maintenance work in real life. I'm a maintenance worker. I'm an unpaid comedian at that, and I'll let you guys know that I run into a bunch of idiots. Anyway, I saw a guy. He was drying his socks in the oven. This is what I deal with. So when people say, "Why are you so mad?" Because people are idiots. Don't be an idiot. Hi, Joseph. I see him. So anyway, let's end the show. So if you're drying your socks, don't put them in the stove. That's just fucking nasty. And that's the show. Let's say goodbye to the lovely people. Say goodbye to the people watching. I can't even find the outro. Where's this out? Oh, you just hit end stream. All right, bye, guys. We'll be back for next week on Tuesday to talk more NXT. Last chat. Let's see what this is. The last thing. That is disgusting. Anyway, you too, Joseph. I'm gonna call you. But we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, there's an outro thing. Yeah.